How's all my warriors doing out there? Yeah, lots of development. Just absolutely crazy out there. And of course, you're not going to hear this on mainstream media. You're not going to hear it on any type of local news because they're all doing their very best to try to hide it. But we are a movement of truth driven by God, right? Bring some good news. Yes, we always got good news. Sometimes not so good, but in most cases, it's one good news after the other, eh? Got lots of good news, more exposure. And what I want to say before I get started, of course, we got to clean the house. And, you take it for what it's worth and put it on the shelf if you want. You use your own discernment, which you patriots are very capable of, your discernment and, awareness of what's going on there. Your intuition is running on all 8 cylinders. I know that. It's only going to be the sleepers that wake up to this horror show. We've had 10 years to adjust and digest everything. They're going to get it slapped right in their face. England is just going absolutely, unhinged inside London right now. There's millions of patriots out there saying they've had enough of their bullshit. Yeah, Stallmer's on his last legs. He's done. He's finished. And, he's now been, not really indicted, but he's, fingers are pointing to him for some very nefarious operations he did to interfere with the American elections. Am I a QFS coach? No, I'm not. I'm just a messenger from God providing the truth, trying to get the truth out there. The best way I know how. Very good fixing things, yes, like the moods. Well, there's another thing. This is what I want to say, and I forgot to write it all down, but I'll try to remember that. We cannot, and I believe, and please listen to me very carefully here, we cannot continue to lay out anger and fear to the Matrix, because all you're doing is feeding the Matrix with that bullshit, okay? We are all about love and light, and I want everybody, starting today, to go out there, and wherever you're out there doing the things that you're doing, just do a little something nice for somebody. And that you doing that yourself on a daily basis will change the planet. I guarantee it. It'll change, if nothing else, it'll change things in your life because God is watching you. Okay? We have higher beings out there watching what's going on. And if you're doing kind things, they will take note of this and, mark it all down. These data centers, I really truly believe they're not some kind of nefarious operation that's going to go down, that's going to lock us down. I believe they're center point energy, could be the med beds or maybe celestial chambers. So there's something that's good out of this. There's just no way Trump's going to allow this to go on there. And there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of fear mongering right now, saying that, they're, giving notices out that, these power companies are going to be shutting things down, like in the Nevada Valley, I guess it was, or the Tahoe Valley. And we are getting SpaceX coming to, exactly, to Grimes country. See, this is what's happening. There's a lot of things. Thank you very much. The data centers are not data centers, okay? I think they're the new direct energy, or not direct energy, center point energy. And they have to have those centers there might have collecting their energy and their power from the ground and then sending them out. And eventually we'll have some FedEx guy or, UBS guy come to the door and present you with a little box, and it'll be centered right in the house somewhere, and it'll all of a sudden kind of light up everything. This is why they said, just so I'm clear about this, it was in the Nevada or Tahoe area that they were going to shut down all the power because the data centers needed all this power. Maybe they're redirecting everything. Maybe they're redirecting everything and taking all the the billing and the power, basically the control mechanisms away from these, globalist power plants, and redirecting the energy into these centers that are there to be fed out, into each and everybody's homes. So yes, you will see a possible blackout because they got to reboot everything, right? What's the update of the foreign currency? Well, that's good news. Okay. The Zimbabwe, we're going to call it the ZIG, because that's all gold back. The Iraqi dinar is all gold back. They're ready to go. The Venezuelan bolivar, gold back, ready to go. And the Vietnamese dong is gold back and ready to go. So they all got green lights. So, yes, it's exciting. And I was just talking with my sister this morning about that, and she said that they are basically, this is where the conversation started up, because I says, well, let's look at it this way. I don't think they're going to be able to slam all 200 because that would take too much. We're having a hard time getting 5 or 6 or even 20 together to go in the first basket. That's what I'm thinking right now. That's just my own discernment. Okay. Maybe RV, each individual country. I don't know if that'll happen. They're going to be putting it out in groups. And I say the ZIG, the dinar, or the Iraqi dinar, Vietnamese dong, and of course probably the Indonesian rupiah and the Venezuelan bolivar. I think that's 5 going in there. There could be up to 10. Maybe they're waiting for 10 in that groups of 10. So this might give us a chance that anybody that's holding that first group to receive some money, that you can go out there and take that money and reinvest it in some other currencies. That's just an afterthought. What about the millions of gallons of, got that. What about millions of gallons of water these centers, they say, are going to be needed for cooling? I don't believe it's going to happen. I think there's a lot of scare tactic going on there, and I think Trump's just letting it go as a scare tactic. I just don't think that there's the alliance has too much control of what's going on in the United States. And I just have to, go back over again and say that the United States is going to be the first one, the first country that gets stabilized and breaks free from this globalist network, okay? They're going to be the first, and then, of course, there are going to be other countries going off in line. Now, that being said, they needed to take out, the most criminalized countries around the world that were suppressing their people the most. And, of course, it was Mexico and, Venezuela and Iran and now Cuba. And from what the intel is telling me, the things that are going on in Cuba is enough to make a donkey puke. So that Raul, the brother of Fidel, which is the father of baby Castro Trudeau, is going to be neutralized. So I wouldn't, I think for the Cuban people that live in Cuba and for the Cuban people that live in Miami and the expatriates that were from Cuba, I believe that you are all going to, and, liberation for your beautiful country of Cuba coming very, 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 very soon. Trump's had enough of it. He's had enough of the bullshit. He's here to liberate every country in the world, okay? He's here to liberate the world and free it from the globalist shackles. I don't know what the whole deal is on that. I really don't. Heard they are cleaning up the waters. Yes, they are. May 17th, that's what's happening. Day of prayer. Have everybody said their prayers this morning? Talking to their creator? Hope so. I'm not going to do any sermon, stuff like that. on air. Everybody's got their own creator and God that they believe in. And, maybe some will feel uncomfortable. I don't want to do that. I do that so I'm a private. That's between me and my God. Okay? So excited for the big changes. Yes, we are. The transformation is going to be huge. Okay, let's go after this thing. Now, but to start with here, I want to talk a little bit about the money. Okay, so the COMEX, as you know, the silver went up to $88 or whatever it was, and then they drove it back down to $76, $75. Now, that's not according to the rest of the world, okay? That was only the paper contracts because, they're going back to their old dirty tricks, okay? So they can try to dump off as much paper contracts as possible to pay them out and, be able to slither out from underneath the rocks that they've been living on. The Shanghai, the same day that it dropped from $88 down to $76, the Shanghai was sitting at $105.40. Okay, oblivious to anything that was going on at the New York stock market. Okay, so you're seeing here a $29, almost $30 difference spreadsheet. Okay, and that spreadsheet is widening. So how is it that anybody can take the COMEX or the New York Stock Exchange seriously when they are undervaluing their own silver just to get out from underneath it and they're targeting the weak ones that are holding the silver because they're trying to scare them into selling their silver so they can buy it up and replace it and give it back to their investors so they can come out of this without getting a cap in the back of the head. That's exactly what's happening here. And I think Trump's got a lot more fires to be burning right now than worrying about some metals that are going on right now. When he gets to it, he's going to reevaluate everything. So what I say to everybody right now, you sit tight, you buy more silver, buy copper, buy gold, whatever money you got, okay? The paper that's holding in your pocket, as I've been saying for years, is absolutely worthless, okay? Trade that in, exchange it, put it all in our pocket, and take it over to the redemption centers, and with a little bit of luck, we will be able to get that replaced with some new gold-backed currency, okay? Now, the TD Bank, one of the biggest banks in Canada and also spread out throughout the United States, just pleaded guilty to a $650 million money laundering operation, supplying a free ticket for the cartels. They paid, I don't know what the damages, very least, will clean out their whole executive operation that's going on there. Okay? That's a good sign. And you will start seeing banks closing down. So let me know if you've got banks shutting down and where where your location is. Now, like I said, Cuba is about to fall. Okay, Raul Castro, brother of Fidel, and the baby Castro Trudeau, is experiencing blackouts, water shortage. They have no oil left because they were getting their oil from Venezuela. And Venezuela is basically under the control by the blessings of the Venezuelan people, under the control of the Trump administration. Okay? So they will be getting all that in control to make those countries very, very safe, that everybody can eventually, in the next year or two, will be able to travel there, enjoy the beaches there, enjoy the people. The people will be so happy to be liberated. It'll be just a very, very nice place to visit, like it was in the early 50s when Havana was Havana and wonderful things were happening there. So you're going to see that all come back before it was taken over by the communists. Okay, so Trump says he will deal with this as soon as he possible because he's had enough. He wants to tell the Cuban people out there, wherever you may be in this world, to hang on. We were going to be there to liberate your country very, very soon. Now, what I see, what's coming, I think our commander-in-chief and, of course, his administration is dealing with the most serious countries that are oppressing their people the most, and killing and slaughtering and imprisoning political prisoners, and those are the ones that are dealing. But mark my words, Canada, England, Australia, New Zealand, and many other countries that are under suppression right now is going to be dealt with as well. You are on the list to have your country and your people liberated, okay? Very, very soon. But, we're doing one country at a time, as I said before. And right now he's just finishing up with Iran. And he's been talking with Putin on the back channels. And he just finished with President Xi, okay? So Xi Jinping is totally on board. He says, okay, I'm going to forget about Iran, buying it from them at level pricing. And we will be buying at fair market value from the Gulf of America. Okay? So that is really, really good news. So any of these three-letter agencies, are all being exposed right now. The UN is being exposed for tampering with the 2020 elections and foreign election interference, along with the EU, also foreign interference, and that's all going to come to light. Remember, Trump has to, and the alliance has to do this thing by the book, by legal matters, or else we fall into the same shithole as they are, okay? Now, okay, so Dolores Cannon, I want to just read something from her. Earth is one of the heaviest planets to live in, and it's very, very difficult to cohabitate here. She says it's one of the heaviest planets to live on, and the people that come here are treated, that sign up to come here, are treated as very, very brave warriors because they are trying to have that experience on this very evil planet. And, where there is no abundance, there is no real fresh air, there's pollution everywhere. We walk amongst clones and goblins and, all kinds of, vampires and so on and so forth. This is what she says, okay? It's not easy to live here. And as well, I guess we'll all see sooner or later. When you sign up to come here, others, angels, are very proud of you, okay? And this means that many benevolent galactic beings out there don't want to sign up because they're too scared, okay? It's only us that signed up that are scared, or had the bravery to take it on. Because being that we are here now, and the starseeds and the light workers that are here, we come here to live, to experience, but also to shine the light and prolong the light and the love. And this is what our job is to do. So this is where it goes back to say, please do not show your anger or show your fear, your fear mongering, or any type of fear of any type. Go out there and do something good, because you will be shining the light and raising the extension, of the Schumann resonance of this planet by doing good things to others. Okay. Everybody with me so far?